There once was a quaint little town that had plenty of wheat to go round. I jumped on a train to go get some grain, but because of inflation, I couldn't afford to buy anything, so I just went to the river to drown. Hey guys, James here again with another game review, and today I'm going to be talking about Dorfromantik, a calming, city-building puzzle game where you try and match similar tiles together and build a quaint little European village. If I had to compare this game to other games, I'd say it's reminiscent of the board game Carcassonne, hopefully I'm pronouncing that correctly, with its tile-based village-building aspects, but of course it's more of a puzzle game rather than a game where you need a controlled territory. Dorfromantik is a very zen game and a nice choice to play when you want to just sit back and relax, but is it really worth the $14 price tag? Let's find out now. So the goal of Dorfromantik is to create a village using a stack of hexagonal tiles. You try your best to complete different quests and get the highest score you can before your tiles run out. You'll start off any run with a center tile that you'll need to start building out from. You also have a limited stack of tiles that you'll have to place onto the board. This stack will also preview the next 2 tiles that you need to place so that you can try and plan out your placements. Again, the tiles are hexagonal, so each of the 6 sides can sport one of a number of features. The main possible features are plains, forests, fields, houses, train tracks, and water. There's some other features that you unlock throughout the game, but those will be the main ones you see throughout all of your runs. Tiles can have multiple different features, as well as having multiple sides with the same features. You then earn points based on how well your tiles fit together, meaning you'll want to place edges with the same features next to each other. You'll then see the sides of the tiles light up if they're connected with the same features. If you manage to get a tile where all 6 sides are completely surrounded by matching features, you'll also get a bonus as well. From time to time, you'll also get tiles that give you certain goals, requiring you to connect a certain number of features together. So, for example, you might get a quest to create a neighborhood with over 20 houses, or you might get a quest to create a river with exactly 7 tiles. Completing these quests is important as it grants you more tiles to your stack, allowing you to continue to play and pursue your high score. There are also some discoverable tiles on the map which will appear once you build out to them. These will give you quests similar to the normal quests you get, and after you complete these quests, you'll unlock new tile types. The game will also give you a number of long-term goals that track throughout all the sessions you play. Completing these quests will unlock new tile types and biomes, which are essentially different skins for your tiles. These help to give sessions a bit of a different feel and look. Overall, I think Dorfromantik is really easy to pick up and play with a simple interface and an undo button to undo the last move you made. Even so, it's not necessarily that easy to master. The game will challenge you and your planning skills as you try and determine where to build out groups of certain features. In particular, the placement of rivers and train tracks makes the game more difficult as you're not allowed to cut off a river or a train track with other features. Personally though, I do think that the rivers and train tracks can make your towns look a little bit ugly, but hey, it is what it is. With all that being said, I did notice that I was actually actively improving throughout my games and sessions. I think that's definitely a good thing, but there is of course going to be a bit of a luck aspect with the tiles you get. There's a number of different modes in the game as well, although the game doesn't actually change all that much between each mode. Classic mode is essentially what I described before, as you try and get a high score and keep your stack going as long as possible. Then you have quick mode, which is basically classic mode but with a smaller stack. I found that on average, a classic mode game will usually take you around 30 minutes or more, maybe even as high as an hour. Meanwhile, quick mode games can usually be around 10 minutes or so. Then there's a hard mode which will have more complex tiles. There's also a monthly mode where everyone gets the same stack and players try to compete for high scores. And then with a custom mode, you can actually set the frequency of certain features or quests, and you can also set a seed so that other players can attempt the same session. And finally, there's a creative mode that allows you to design your dream village to your heart's content. Add in the painting-like aesthetics, calming music, and some nice attention to detail, and I think Dorfromantik actually has a lot going for it. I think the sound effects in particular are well done and help to add some satisfaction when placing pieces. But, is Dorfromantik worth the price? I found that Dorf is a very calming game, and it's a nice game to play at the end of the night, or while you do other things like listen to a podcast. Personally though, I do wish that sessions were a little bit shorter personally. So in terms of score, I'm giving Dorfromantik a 3 out of 4, because I think it's definitely a well-made game, but at the same time, I don't actually think it's necessarily that fun personally. I just didn't really find myself actively wanting to play the game. I would describe the game as pleasant. And personally, I think it might have been better as a mobile game, as it seems like the perfect game to jump into once in a while on the toilet or while multitasking. To me, I just don't think Dorfromantik is worth the $14 price tag. Honestly, I personally would suggest getting it if you can get it for like $5 or so, maybe $10 max, but something in that range definitely sounds about right to me. But hey, that's just me. I'd love to hear from you. Have you tried Dorfromantik, and what did you think of it? And of course, if you made it this far, I truly do appreciate it. If you enjoyed the video, please do consider hitting that like and subscribe button, and maybe even check out some other videos from me. And as usual, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Peace.